now.
Well, that's good. But you still want to be very careful about a girl's reputation. It's not just getting a girl pregnant that can ruin a girl's reputation. It can be anything.
I don't think girls have reputations now.
Oh, yes, they do. Maybe they don't. Well, now, I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Everything is so confused.
People can be awful unfair, Frank Jr. It's hard to realize when you're young what even the silliest mistake can do to the rest of your life. You want to be very careful picking your friends. Who are your friends?
Bunch of freaks.
Oh, and now you want to be very careful. People judge you by the people you're with.
Freaks doesn't mean anything bad anymore. It's just a way of clowning. When you all came up month before last, all the guys I know were talking about you afterwards.
About me and Frank Sr.?
No, just about you. They wouldn't believe you were my stepmother.
Why not?
Because you look so young and attractive.
Oh, well, isn't that a nice compliment? What did you say?
I didn't say anything. They're just freaks.
What did they say when you showed them my picture?
I didn't tell them it was you. But I heard some of them whistling at it.
Really?
They were saying there sure aren't any girls like that around state now.
Well, isn't that the nicest compliment? That makes me feel real proud.
They didn't recognize you because you look different now.
Yeah, well, we all get older.
You don't look much older, you just look different.
I guess no one from those days would recognize me now.
What happens when you go back to alumni meetings?
Oh, I don't ever go back to those. Listen, Frank Jr., you must have some friends you want to see.
No.
Well, what about that Patterson boy?
No, I don't want to see him. He's queer.
Frank Jr., that is a terrible thing to say.
Well, he is. He told me so.
When?
Last summer. He said he found out he was queer and he was telling everybody so they could make up their minds if they wanted to know him or not.
Oh, my.
So I told him I'd just as soon not.
He was such a nice boy.
Yeah, well...
Frank Jr., don't ever be cruel to people like that. Do you hear me?
Sure, I wouldn't. I mean, it doesn't mean anything to me, but I can't run around with him. You said pick your friends.
I know I did, but don't ever be cruel.
No, I wouldn't. Breakfast was great. I have to get dressed now.
Okay, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do today. Frank?
Uh-huh.
Frank, if you have problems and things, I want you to know that you can talk to me about them. I mean, I'm not so old that I can't remember what it's like to be young.
Oh, sure.
No, I mean it.
No, I would. I just don't have any problems now. Not really.
Is there something?
No. I got on the prayer list.
You? On the prayer list?
You know the prayer list?
At the Baptist Student Union at State, do they still have that?
Oh, sure. The students put your name on it if they think you're headed for the pit.
Oh, Lord, I didn't think they still had that.
Oh, they do, and I got on it for it, and you won't believe this. Coming to class dressed like an Indian. I mean, not even really dressed all that much like an Indian. I just put on a headband and a feather and that leather jacket with the fringe. It was just a goof and went barefoot. It was just humanities class. I mean, it wasn't like I disrupted or anything. They were showing slides. But I made the header for hell list. I guess they thought I was trying to stir up racial problems and impose God's holy right to make white men masters over red or something. It was just a goof.
Well, that's silly, but now you be careful,
Okay. Breakfast was okay. I'm home.
Oh, hi, darling. Fine, I'm running real late. Lunch is almost ready, and I haven't even cleared up breakfast.
Well, I'm a little early, too. We played through pretty fast, and I didn't want to stay for a drink and be late for your lunch.
Oh, well, that's real thoughtful, darling. Frank Jr. will be out in a bit. He's fine.
Good, good. You don't think he drinks, do you?
I don't think they drink much, except the Stones.
Oh, yes, those farm boys drink. I never did. I can see where that led. You could have come out for lunch, as it turns out. We have a wives' lunch today, and several of the non-members and their wives there.
Frank, I'm so sorry.
No, I don't mind. I just thought you would have liked it.
Oh, I would have.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't know about it. George said he felt real bad. He knows you would have set some store by it.
George does? Oh, well, I think that's real nice of him.
Oh, he thinks the world of you. He says you're a good businesswoman.
Well, that makes me proud if I'm getting a good reputation.
He said he probably just thought you'd be too busy. He didn't know Frank Jr. was going to be home, of course.
Well, that's just real thoughtful of him. If you want me to make a drink, I'll make it real weak.
No, thank you, honey. I don't think the boy ought to see us drinking in the home.
Oh, of course. Well, now you just sit down and I'll make sure everything's all right.
Ain't that Maria here? Well, let her serve it. I don't like the boy to see you doing that kind of work. I hire you a maid. I want him to see you as the lady of the house.
Well, all right then. Maria, I let the laundry wait. I'd like you to serve lunch.
The lawn needs cutting.
Good. I think Frank Jr. could do something to do.
He'd probably rather stay there with his college friends. He never did get along with these drinking water hicks.
Well, it can't have been easy for him being moved around so much.
Our boy needs a mother. I don't know why, but he never made friends.
Well, I'm sure he has some friends at State. Next time he comes home, let's have him bring some with him.
Well, that'd be pretty hard on you.
Oh, no, not at all. I'd enjoy it.
Well, tell him none of them better drink and have to watch the language in here.
Certainly. Well, now, how did your game go?
I made par on 2 holes, and that's not even counting my handicap.
I never did understand that handicap thing.
Well, it's like a league in baseball, sort of.
Well, I never understood that either.
I think George wants to nominate us for membership in the country club.
Oh, Frank! That is wonderful!
I told him you'd be for it. It's expensive, but I think I am going to get that Chrysler dealership, and that should slowly move us socially a bit. Like, I know you just married a farm boy, but you know I try to give you everything I can.
Oh, Frank, you are the most wonderful husband a woman could ever want. You're kind and generous and thoughtful, and you believed in me when I wanted to start the shop.
I don't want you to ever worry about paying that back. You take that money and put it away in the trust fund for when I'm gone. That's what I do with it anyway.
Oh, I hope you're never gone. I wouldn't want to be alone in this town.
Well, I'll die before you do. Frank Jr. will be pretty well taken care of, and so will you. But you just put everything aside you can in case something goes wrong with the country.
Don't be sad, Frank.
I saw nice women like you scrubbing floors and begging in bar rooms. I saw them doing a lot worse, too. I saw Elsie get sick and old long before time and lose babies because we had to work side by side in the oil fields. I don't want that to ever happen to you.
Frank? Frank, do you think they'll let me into that country club?
Well, of course they would, Frankie. The only reason you ain't been in it a long time ago is because you married up to a plot hopper like me.
Oh, Frank, you know that isn't true.
Oh, yes. You'd been out there, them balls and them swimming pool barbecues a long time ago if you had been so crazy as to hitch your wagon to a farm boy.
It means a lot to you, doesn't it, Frank, getting into that country club?
I can't lie to you, Frankie. It does mean something to me. Not because I want to go out and wear them shorts and get drunk with a lot of people who haven't got half the money they owe. But it just means something to me to think about being a real part of the town life. I hate the country, so it's really funny I don't want to be in a country club. But it would mean something to me to be out there with the mayor and them colonels from the air base and see you dancing out there. You look better than any woman out there anyway.
Oh, Frank.
And lawn needs work.
Well, like I said, Frank Jr.
No, I don't want him having to do lawn work if he doesn't want to. This is his vacation, and we can get someone.
Oh. Well, Maria's brother needs work. She told me so.
He ain't a nigger, is he?
Well, no, they're Spanish.
Well, some of them got nigger half-brothers. Now, don't look like that. You know that ain't prejudice on my part. I just don't think the Parkside people would like nigger men on the lawns.
Well, we'll talk about it. Whatever you want, of course. But, Frank, I would like to talk about this country club thing.
What about it, honey?
Well, now you know that it's because of me that it's taken so long for us to get into that club.
Honey, that's not so.
Oh, Frank, we need to clear this up. Really, we do.
Well, Father?
Howdy, boy. Hey, did you grow some more?
I don't know. I think so.
Did you get that check I sent you?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm really glad to see you.
Did you know I was out playing golf today?
Yes, sir. Mother told me. That's great. How did you do?
Shot 2 holes par.
That's great.
You like to play golf?
I did play some golf. They took us out in Phys Ed to the municipal court in Portales.
Yes, how'd you do?
I may make caddy.
Oh, I get it. Did you hear that, Frankie?
That's funny, Jim.
How's your girlfriend, son?
I'm still taking applications.
Frankie, what we got here? Bob Hope?
He's a wit. I think I'll see what lunch is up to.
No, let the Mexican do it. Son, your mother says she'd like for you to bring some friends home next time you come.
Oh?
If there's someone you want to bring.
Oh, well, maybe. That's kind of corny.
Oh, is it? Did you hear that, Frankie? We are corny. I guess we belong to the older generation now and didn't know it.
I guess we are. I must see what lunch is up to.
Oh, all right. You're the kind of woman that cleans up the house so the maid don't see it dirty.
You two wash up.
Did you ever hear that one before? That's the woman that cleans up the house so the maid won't see it dirty.
Right, that's a good one.
Well, let me tell you, you'll go a long ways before you find a woman to match your stepmother.
Yes, sir.
You remember your mother at all, son?
Only a little, Father. I told you.
I haven't done too badly by you, have I, son?
You've done great, Father.
I wish your mother could have lived to see us living in a nice home like this with a lawn. Of course, I wouldn't trade Frankie for any other woman in the world.
I know, sir.
But your mother was a fine woman, too. Worked beside me to her own death. You were born in a shack, did you know that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it had doors and a floor, but it was a shack nonetheless. The government had set them up about 10 years before you were born for us poor homeless workers to live in. And by the time you came, we had fixed it up with running water and windows. And we could have afforded better. But we were saving every cent I made in the service, and your mother made it the war plant to buy us a business when the war was through.
I know, sir.
Now she's gone and buried not far from there. When I think how she would have looked to see me in this house. But I'm boring you.
No, sir. I'd like to hear more.
Now you want to be off seeing your friends.
No, sir. I'd rather hear you talk about the Depression.
You don't ever want to hear about the Depression, son. And I only hope and pray you don't ever have to go through what I went through, nor any boy alive today has to suffer what I suffered.
Yes, sir. But I'd still like to know. Maybe I could do a report on it for sociology.
You mean I'm history?
Yes, sir. I mean, we're all history. When I'm an old man, I'll be telling kids about the post-war boom.
Yes. Yes, I guess you will. Did you know we might be getting into the country club? Do you believe that?
Oh, Father, that'd be great for you.
Oh, great for you, son. I know you never made many friends here going to the high school on the other side of town. But at that country club, you'd mix with the best kids in drinking water. Kids from other places, too. Air-based kids, the kids of all those lawyers and doctors that are moving to town now. I don't say their parents are all that desirable, a lot of them, but they've got some pretty nice kids who've had all the advantages. Kinds of kids you'd really get along with. Say, they all listen to church music, too. Wouldn't you like that a little?
Sure, Dad. I'd like that a lot. It's okay.
I know it's classical music, but to me, it'll always be church music.
Right. That's a good one.
You know, I've always been grateful God gave me a bright son instead of some dumb stomp.
And I'm glad God gave me you for a father, Dad.
You know, I kind of like it when you call me Dad.
Frank Jr., why don't you go wash up your hands for lunch? I think we'll all sit down and have lunch together before Dad goes to work.
Yes, Mom.
He's a fine boy, Frankie. I think he really is.
Frank?
What is it, Frankie? What's the matter? Maria do something wrong?
Oh, no, nothing's wrong. Oh, Frank, I love you so